Good afternoon, everybody. Phil Simons with Columbia Grain here, and your Friday afternoon weekly grain market recap. Well, we do have another week in the books, but before we jump into any of the numbers that we saw this week, just a friendly reminder that Sunday, March 12th is daylight savings time. So be sure to spring ahead on your clocks. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to share my screen with you again here, and let's navigate to our favorite website, columbiagrain.com. And if we navigate over to the upper right-hand corner again to Producer Solutions, let's take a look and see what the markets gave us here this week. Wednesday, we did have the monthly supply and demand numbers from the USDA get released, and really did ultimately put a lot of pressure on the grain complex in its entirety, really. But again, today we did see a little bit of relief as we did bounce slightly anyhow off of what we have been in significantly really oversold conditions in the grain complex in its entirety. We did rally slightly again here today, but again, my opinion right now is that we are seeing just more of a short covering rally as opposed to anything else. Again, every Friday, we do see the Commitment of Traders report come out, and there has been some technical difficulties in terms of how they've been able to release the data from the Commitment of Traders report. So the last one that we saw here from the 8th was actually reporting data from February 14th. So if we really kind of work backwards in that regard, we see that corn from the managed money position, they actually held a long position of corn of roughly 235,000 contracts. And since then, if we take a look at what the market has done so we can try to calculate where they're currently at, it looks like they would be roughly long close to 130,000 contracts. So over the last couple, 2 weeks, really, I mean, we could have seen the overall fund position liquidate close to 100,000 contracts of corn. But again, those are just estimates for right now until we see them actually get caught back up on the reporting system. Wheat back on February 14th, and Chicago wheat anyway, they actually held a pretty significant short position, which was calculated at 60,000 contracts short as of February 14th. And today the estimates are for a short position of close to 80,000 contracts. In beans, back on February 14th, they were roughly 182,000 contracts long. And today the estimate long is 135,000 contracts. So you can see really the overall theme is, quite honestly, some liquidation of length and actually getting shorter in Chicago wheat. But let's take a look and see what the overall ranges were in the futures when the dust settled here today. Again, if we start over on the left-hand side of the screen, we can see that corn had a 20-cent range, actually closed with a 13-cent loss. Beans actually closed down on the week by 17 cents. Kansas Dees wheat closed down by 23 cents on the week. Chicago wheat was actually down 28 cents on the week, and Minneapolis wheat was down 26 cents on the week. And again, this is after coming back up a little bit here this afternoon from what we had been seeing here early in the week. Other than that, in terms of other news, there really hasn't been any fresh fundamental information to really drive the markets higher. Continue to see some drier forecasts in Argentina and more potential rain in Brazil, which could be delaying their harvest along with their planting progress. There really hasn't been any extension on the Black Sea, the export agreement either, and Russia seems to be dragging their feet, and really demanding some kind of changes. So again, really just the markets today were really more of a short covering rally as we continue to see just more markets in oversold conditions. So again, stay tuned for next week, see what's on tap. Later in the month, we're going to have that planning intentions report along with the quarterly stocks. So again, just a pretty important report that's going to be coming out at the end of the month. And remember to spring forward this weekend on Sunday, March 12th. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk with you next week.